Hello everybody and welcome to Day Job. I am your host Code Marvelous and I am joined by friend of the show and all-around great human being, Russell, otherwise known as Tolaasin. How's it going?
Hey, it's going good, Dan.
So what are we doing today?
Well, I've basically never played Shaper ever, apart from a brief dalliance with Pitchfork Hayley. So you and I were chatting earlier in the week with the deck that you were doing pretty well with, and I took it out for 10 games yesterday, and my win rate was 15% by the end of the day. So I'm doing something wrong. So you and I agreed that we'd try and walk through what it means to be a Shaper and what we're looking for, and how this deck actually can be made to work.
Yeah, I agree. So, again, we're up against the JNet special of the Mwanza personal evolution. So we're going to do kind of a standard start here where we just get down a source of drip and Proco. We're going to try to avoid overdrawing and having to discard cards wherever possible. And since this is going to be a light ice deck, some of our tools like Takabee and other things might end up just being hit
points. Yeah. So if they're playing the Mamba variant, Psych Mike, which is in this deck, is a sweet addition because it means you get vast amount, as much money as they do, kind of, for the...
I want to check to see what this is. If it's a psychic field, it's a psychic field, but I smell a house of knives. Okay, so it's a snare, so we're going to go check the other one. Okay, and we'll remove the tag. And if they have a Neurali and P, we're dead, and we can move on to a real game with a real deck. No ShadowNet anymore, Russell. I can't get rid of this garbage anymore.
No, that's right.
Alright. So pretty soon we're going to want to get both of those breakers down just so we don't lose them. It's not just me, right? Like, people are seeing just, like, a ton of personal evolution on JNet, right?
Yeah, I guess it was on NIDB, these Mamba grid decks that make you see a lot of cards, and you either win by stealing a lot of agendas or don't win, or you lose. So.
Right, or you get run out of cards.
Yeah.
So we got two of our breakers down. Once we get Ngolo down, there's really actually like nothing else we really have to install. Let's see if we can get a crowdfunding. Oh, look, a crowdfunding. So the neat thing is we can run 3 times. Oh, no, we can't quite do it because there's too much stuff we want to keep. So we'll get... So what I would normally do here, I'm sorry, I'm like having a conversation in my head instead of with you, Russell. What I would normally do in this scenario is I would run archives 3 times, discard crowdfunding, and then use the install to rip Aesops out of my hand. But that would require us still being overdrawn and running 3 times because we were at 7 cards. So we'd have to get rid of a piece of hardware, which we really don't want to do, so we're going to have to do this like the way that isn't optimal. But,
and I think that my observation is from trying to do this is that that's valuable if there's another upside of running archives 3 times. For example, you've got Sucker installed, or you've got Paragon, or something else like that. I think in this instance, installing Aesops and crowdfunding for a credit and a click, and then taking 2 more clerics is probably okay.
So now I'm concerned we might be on some sort of double Ronin play. But the solution to that is still just money. So
yeah,
we're going to pawn this crowdfunding. We're going to hit some money here. Okay, so
now you can run archives 3 times and install both crowdfundings back again.
Yeah. And it also, this prevents them from using things like shipment from Tenon, which I'm not necessarily anticipating that that's what we're going to be seeing in this particular matchup, but a lot of PEs have been playing shipment from Tenon as a way of punishing people for not running to get like a House of Knives out.
Yeah. I think at some stage also poking and getting their credit total down, because 7, if they read anything there.
So we're going to prevent the net damage because we don't want to have to wait until we have clone ship to get Ngolo down.
Yeah.
But we have our forever economy now, just with the 2 crowdfundings. Alright, so we're gonna let them both drip. We're gonna pawn one. And then I think I want to get down... I wish we had one more MU. Well, that's one way to get it. Let's do this.
I don't install the cache first, and then engole off the... Oh, no, you can't do that, can you?
No.
Right. Sure.
I have to forsake it, but it's okay. You can't have everything that you want all the time, Russell.
Nope. But I think making them res ice, making them go down in money, we're basically set up now, right? Just the question of have we got enough money to pay the net damage tax.
Yeah. Rain, yeah, I mean, I would say yes, because it's our primary econ engine. So what do we want to check here? We've got some remotes. What are your instincts?
I would run HQ, and let's see if we can force a res. If they know res, that means they don't want us to see 2 cards. Getting them down below 4 credits is a big thing, right?
Yeah, that's basically the goal when you're playing against this style of Jinteki, is you're trying to force them to disregard or to not be able to fire their snares. That hurts.
Sure, but we know it's there, right?
Yeah. Do we want to check any of these? I feel like this could be a psychic field deck.
You want to run twice if you can.
Yeah, let's see if that's a psychic field or a snare. We'll prevent the net damage.
Just credit remove tag, or credit remove tag. Run. Oh,
no, we're all right.
Yeah.
2 snares down, which is actually pretty good for us. And we are chewing through their cash, which is nice. I'd like to get a Psych Mic down so we can get, and some modded so we can get some value returns on these RDIs. Yeah, reminder to everybody watching that I have commands on Twitch that will like bring up the deck list or information about like current rule sets and things like that. Alright, so let's pawn. Alright, let's money up a little, maybe.
Yeah, can do. The other option is, of course, you can run archives and get those 2 crowdfundings down. That's a ton of money that comes back there.
Yeah.
But not now, so...
Yeah, I mean, I like to have a big hand. I have no idea what they're doing. I was concerned that this might be like the Mwanza grid deck. I have no idea what they're doing in this deck. I have to imagine with the Kusanagis, they're going for some biotic philotic play. Right? Where the idea is that they're going to feed us a bunch of crap. And then the ultimate outcome is going to be that they try to biotic philotic. But as long as we have money, we're completely immune to that.
Yeah. So one question is, I suppose, is how many RDIs do you want to install? Because we know the oboe's still in hand. So at some stage we can go in and try and steal that.
Probably at most we'll install 2.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if a preemptive hits, we're definitely not going to install all 3. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because right now, the most we can hit is 1 snare at a time. Alright, so I think this turn we're going to diesel, see if we can get the other crowdfunding, and then start checking some servers.
Yeah, I bet there's a dome in archives now.
I mean, I would say probably. Let's see what's in R&D. Let's see if they're playing real ice or not.
Mm-hmm.
Tithonium?
I guess, yeah, okay.
I mean, that is one reason to play, Okay, so that's broken. Do we want to check? Let's poke archives, because if it's not...
Yeah, if it's not a dome, you can
if it's not a dome, we can
more.
just go right back in. Oh, it's a House of Knives. Yeah, we'll just take it.
Yep.
We lost one of the RDIs that we weren't going to install anyway.
Yeah, run again.
Unfortunately, we don't have the money now to piggyback, but them's is the breaks. The discard here is probably daily casts or Cyberdelia.
I would throw the Delia because you've got 2 more, right?
Yeah. I have 1 more, but we're also... The Delias are like icing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once we have Gauntlet down, we really are pretty good on MU. Can I also talk about, as a side note, I love the art on Gauntlet. Like, it's a super evocative piece of art. It's great. It's a character that doesn't appear other places. Like, I don't know. I'm a big fan of that stuff. Alright, so what are we doing? I'd like to try to poke HQ again, maybe after hitting Proco twice, to try to see if we can get that,
Sure.
Actually, hang on. I want to see if they'll res the Archives Ice. Just to keep us off getting 1 crowdfunding back. Boo! Okay, so that's 1 run. Alright. HQ, what do you think?
Yeah, no advancing stuff there. That could be a... I'd run server 4. Let's see if they're going to spend the money there. Can we afford if it's Junebug?
Not really. Oh, fine.
Okay.
I'm going to just bounce.
Yep. Run server 3.
What is that? Trash. Oh, yeah. Fire it. I'll trash crowdfunding.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Server 4 could be an Obicata.
It could be, but they earned it. Yeah, go for it.
Unless you want to make it into a code gate and break it.
No. I'll just get rid of the pawn shop. We have other pawn shops. We have 2 more.
How many are in the bin? None in the bin.
None of that's that's the or 1 other one's in the bin.
Okay.
We'll be fine.
It's not exposed, right? That's not exposing is not the same as encountering.
Jessica Chris, thank you for the 8 months in a row sub. False flag. Alright, well I'm gonna... That's the one where if they advance it 7 times, it can turn into an agenda, right?
Yeah. I think you trash it and remove a tag and have done. You don't lose the Proco. So...
I know, but I want my stuff back. A gentleman and a scholar for running false flag. If you say so. Alright, I just want to get this clone chip down for now. Next turn, we're going to put the cube on pop-up window and run there 3 times.
I think I would, in retrospect, I think probably breaking that with Ngolo might have been better because it kind of shuts down our economy until we find the other one. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I think I'm just going to eat the damage here. Oh, that stinks. But such is life.
Oh, they got no money. You can run HQ now.
Oh yeah, let's just do that.
In fact, you can run anything. You could probably run 7 and 8 if you want to.
Yeah, but I'd rather get information, you know? Oh, future perfect. See? Look at that.
There you go. Good.
Oh, why didn't I spend 0? That's stupid. I'm not paying attention.
Nope. It's alright. You're making 2 cents a run and we're going to get the crowdfundings back as well, so this is fine.
Is it? Is it? Probably. I love Cubon. I will prevent the damage, thank you. And if you're going to steal one... I always say this. If you're going to steal one agenda from Jinteki PE, that's the one to steal.
We know there's another Carter somewhere as well, right?
Yep. There's 2 5/3s in there.
There you go. And they're never going to res now, right? In fact, even if they take 3, you can run 3 times, or draw and then run 3 times.
Yep. And we're dripping. Now, I have to assume that this kind of deck is running Ike. So if they come across an Ike, they'll probably just overwrite everything in HQ and replace it with an Ike. That's what I would do. Mushin. Alright, we're still going to check HQ, and then we're going to use that to get the money to check that card.
Yeah.
Because we know... Oh, I should have drawn up. But I think that's probably the Obakata, not the Future Perfect over in that server. Oh, it's the Future Perfect, it looks like.
Well, it might be. But what you can do is say no action there, right? Run again, see if you see the TFP.
And then that way we know if it's a trap.
But I think you can also, you want to draw, because if we see the oboe again, I think you draw in 3 times. But
okay, so we're going to draw. And then, do we want to go check server 9?
Sure.
We could. Cute.
Okay. All right, so that means you know both the TFP and the oboe are still in hand. And I think you can just keep running HQ and leave them down.
Kanako guy, we have feedback filter. We don't take the PE damage ever. What is this? Cocktail. Yeah, we can go through.
I think
it's 2 credits total cost. And we actually get the multi-access now.
Yep.
Did we get our Cubon credits? Yes, we did. And they have no money, which means that they can't fire any traps. So we're going to just rip their hand.
Yeah, and you could also check 7 and 8, I guess.
Yeah.
If we want to, but yeah.
And we're going to get to see 3 out of 4 cards. Yeah, take it. Prevent 1 net damage.
Yeah, and if the TFP's in there... Yeah, so it's 2 overcarters and a TFP. And now you bid 0 and you win. We did it, boys.
Good game. We did it by stealing 9 agenda points. 6 points in 1 turn. But yeah, so the engine's just pretty solid. It's good Shaper business, a surprise gauntlet, and never-ending Aesop's bucks.
So when I was practicing yesterday, I didn't have so much trouble with the PE matchup because I kind of know generally how to play that. I had a much bigger trouble trying to figure out how to play against Glacier decks, which I think is what the deck is more built for.
Glacier? What do you mean by that? Explain that term to our audience.
So decks that don't try to either kill you with damage or to score out fast. So decks that aim to build up, like Empty Glacier, where basically every turn there is, well, Glacier, Potato. Let's not fall out about it.
No, I thought you were saying glass.
Oh, okay.
Glacier. Anyway. So apparently they did not have a good opening hand.
So tell me, Dan, tell me why you kept this hand. There's no SMC in it, so what was it about the hand that made you say, I'll keep this?
So they mulliganed. Or no, they kept. But we have crowdfunding and a daily cast and Beth in the opening hand. The amount of value we're going to get over the course of the game with that is well worth it. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to click one, we're going to go here and see if we can force an Alice Rees.
So this is what? This is SSO where they install...
No, this is ASA Group.
Oh yeah, that's so that's Tempo ID, right?
Correct. So we'll beat the Trace.
It's probably Rashida, right?
Yeah, but I still want to get it.
Yeah, sure.
They're like bankrupting themselves to protect a Rashida, and they don't realize how little they're actually impacting us. Oh, it's an NGO front, even better.
So credit, install...
Credit, Beth, and crowdfunding. And we're both broke, but that hurts them way more than it hurts us. So let's draw. Oh, perfect. Let us do this and piggyback misdirection because it'll be a pawn target later. Let's go HQ. Another Surveyor, and then let's get Daily Cast down. We're just living in Value Town, Russell.
Yeah, gonna get money. I guess Proco is good as well, but...
Yep. I love Hayley. I love Smoke so much, but I really feel like Hayley suits my playstyle better.
Yeah. So Takobi and Nanotka work really good. Nanotech work really
so
well against this, right?
Yeah, like, because all this ice that they're gonna be very fond of is just gonna fold like paper. Chrysium Grid, which we actually, in this build, we don't care about, because both Gauntlet and RDI are not on successful runs. They say when you access cards.
Yeah, I guess crowdfunding is a thing, right?
Yeah, but...
So we can't do multiple runs against Chrysium for crowdfunding.
If they Chrysium Archives, that's a straight win for us. Right?
Yep.
Alright, so they're starting to take off as far as money is concerned. Let's see. So on the crowdfunding draw, we get a modded.
So you can mod it out the Nanotech and then install it. Oh no, yeah, we can do that, can't we? But
yeah, we can't
piggyback the SMC.
And we can overwrite the misdirection because it was a free install anyway.
Yeah.
So what we're probably going to do here is we're going to mod it out Nanotech with the SMC piggyback. We'll trash misdirection. And then, as much as it pains me to do this, we're going to just drop Professional Contacts. Because if we don't drop it now, we'll probably never get it down.
Sure.
Because we got to establish the lock. I love these Asa Jinja decks, because if they don't draw into the agendas, which it doesn't look like they are because they didn't put any ice on HQ, then they're leaving R&D wide open for us to savage in the late game. And they just drew multiple cards looking for ice and didn't find it, so we're definitely going to check HQ.
Yeah, so Takobi is really good here.
Yeah. Let's diesel.
So that's another question I had from yesterday, Dan. When do you diesel and when do you proco? Because 3 cards and 3 credits.
So it really depends. It's so hard to describe because so much of how you play like Shape or Lock is like this ineffable like gut sense. And I know that sounds like I'm speaking like nonsense. But like a ton of like knowing when to use which cards. Like the reason I use diesel is because it increases the likelihood of me getting an additional crowdfunding click 1 to be able to discard and install for free. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Rather than Proco. Whereas Proco is better on off turns when I'm just trying to set up the lock. So in short, I use diesel when I think I'm going to run or try to run 3 times in a turn. And I use Proco when I'm having a setup turn.
Sure. Okay, I got that.
Alright, so this is perfect. They keep leaving all of their shit open. So, let's check some stuff. I want to check archives. I feel like there could be an agenda just, like, waiting there. What was that face-down card? Oh, a Fairchild 3 that didn't get installed. That's okay. I'm okay with that.
So, we do need Takobi and Nanotka for the remote. We know they've got a vanilla off the Ginger install, so we're going to need Kuroda there at some stage.
Yeah.
So you could what?
So I'd really like to get. I'm gonna draw with professional contacts once because if we can, I'd like to get Aesops to rip out of our hands. We didn't get it, but we're still gonna run HQ because then we can get this other crowdfunding down, and I do want to get rid of that. So now we are gonna get rid of the extra diesel. We're gonna get rid of the extra.
No. Drop the crowdfunding in the bin because you run 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, they're not finding the agendas, which is good. We just need a little bit more money.
And also get them to spend money because.
Well, yeah, that's the problem that we're having.
Forcing them to resonate on R&D, for example.
Yeah, the problem is we haven't seen a sure gamble.
Yep.
There is also a 1 of Stamhack in this deck. The Stamherk.
So, probably corporate sales team.
Yeah.
Could be remote enforcement.
Okay, so they got rid of a couple of agendas here. So, I think we have to have a setup turn here. We have to try to establish the lock. Okay, so we're gonna modded 1 and then get the other one. And then just get money down. We've got to get...
Need the Aesops.
We need the Aesops, which hope we might draw on the crowdfunding poll. Not an agenda. Oh, no, it's the Jinja install, I was about to say. If they click installed that. So we're going to get 2 free draws this turn. Remote enforcement. So I almost feel like they're wise to me because they're not putting any ice on HQ.
To our cheeky legwork.
We know that that's a surveyor, so this is going to be at 4 strength.
Takobi's good if we can get Takobi down.
Yeah, I want to get them to res like 1 piece of ice. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put down cash, and we're going to piggyback Takobi out of our hands. Gosh, I just really need... So let's run R&D and see if we get the surveyor res. We do. Do we continue?
What else can they raise? Architect?
Fairchild?
Yeah.
Fairchild 2, I mean.
Sure.
That's pretty bad, but not the end of the world.
That's okay.
Yep. They have a lot of I don't want
So you can,
agendas in my hand effects. It looks like this person is very, like, and it does go very nicely with Ginger Grid.
Mm-hmm.
If we could just get Aesop's, like, we'll be, you know, like, in it to win it. But we just can't get there. It's wild. We're halfway through our deck. We haven't seen a single Aesop's pawn shop. There we go. And we can rip it out of our hands while getting 2 crowdfundings.
Wow, they've got a lot of way of cleaning up their hand.
They have 3 attitude adjustments, right? Like, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about a 3rd Ginger Grid. So we've made our 3 runs. Let's draw once more because we can get rid of the additional Proco.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's end the turn. Crowdfunding. Crowdfunding. And now we're in business.
Yeah, it gets easier now.
Because we actually have our real engine now.
So if they don't install ice off this, then that says something, right?
Hey, Retsuko. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna run HQ to see if we can force I've gotta get Gauntlet down. We haven't gotten any of our less expensive mem chips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pull the cash. Yeah.
Where's Delia? That's my question.
Yeah, but now if you... Well, do you not modded out the Gauntlet and run HQ? Because the fact that they iced it up tells you something, right?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a mod.
Oh, sorry, it's Psyche Mike.
I mean, I think...
Install Gauntlet and run HQ 3 times. That's what I do.
Well, the problem that we have is that...
Oh, if you need a clone chip, yeah, sure.
Well, no, is if I install Gauntlet, they just won't res. Which is fine, too. But I like to try, if I can, to force the ice res.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we're going to wait one more turn, because I want to be able to pawn this other cash and get SMC down.
Also, if they res, you can put Q-ban on it.
That's true.
Well, you can put Q-ban on it anyway, but it is...
I usually, against HB, I try to save my Q-bonds for architects. If there's a central architect, because it can't ever be overwritten.
Yeah. So there, what I might have done... The question is, how are you going to be running R&D a lot now? Because if you're not, then I think you put Kuroda in the bin, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I think here's what we're going to do. Are we going to try to push for that? We can. We've got Gauntlet, SMCE.
Well, if you run HQ and they res... I just think Takobi's counters are good. You don't have... Like, we know that there's a vanilla on the remote, right? So you've got the vanilla on the road. We've got to have a way of getting vanilla out. So you're going to have to, like... clone chip for cash to install Kuroda.
Well, we can, we have 2 Cyberdelias now.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I think we're going to do.
You could also put those 2 down. You can put Q-ban on. We've got to get Ngolo out as well. So you can't get into the remote without Kuroda and Ngolo.
Right. But let's put this on here, and let's just hit HQ and see if we get a res.
Mm-hmm.
We do. We get a res. It's an Eli. So we can break that with Ngolo this time.
You don't have Ngolo installed.
But we can.
Yeah, sure.
But we could. And that gives us our sweet, sweet Takebe polls. And then just probably hit that once. Because now we can put down Gauntlet next turn and just, like, go ham.
Uh-huh. But I think you could get Corroder out. That's another remote enforcement. That's expensive.
They're not going to have a ton of money. And it looks like they didn't search for anything.
Yeah, so that's another agenda in the remote.
Yeah.
But you could get through that for free, right?
Get through what for free?
The Eli on HQ you can now get through for free if you get if you get the Corroder down.
All right, let's do it.
So yeah.
And now we're full rig. Yep, everybody says it. They're like, I did not expect. Everybody's always like, I did not expect the Gauntlet.
Oh yeah, okay. So we want to run 3 times if we can.
Yep. So the big thing that I'm hoping for is I'm hoping for an overwrite on HQ where we can force the res, which will weaken R&D. Make sense?
Sure.
We still haven't seen a single sure gamble. I'd like that noted.
Vanilla. Yeah.
Vanilla's fine.
So
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run that remote, and if they res it, I'm just going to farm it for Takebe counters.
Yep.
The vanillas are very dangerous for them because it negates Surveyor when I have Takebe.
Yeah. I mean, I think... How many crowdfundings in the bin now? 3?
3.
Yeah, so running
we're gonna do that click 1, and then we'll run somewhere else 3 times.
So they almost certainly don't have any agendas in hand now, but that's okay.
Right. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's run the remote and see if they res.
I won't think they will. They won't, right? Because, well, I wouldn't do that.
Thank you. And then we jack out. Then we're gonna run archives 3 times.
They're going to be on game point in a minute, which means that everything they put in the... I think the remote's got an agenda in it, but...
I don't think that it does. I think it has an ash and a red herrings in it. Or it had an asset in it.
A snare.
Alright, so I think now we're gonna go into R&D now. We're gonna try to force all those ice reses.
Sure. So we know one of them's a vanilla, I think.
Yeah, so let's pawn one of these. Let's do the full engine. Yeah, let's go. So we're gonna get another Takebe counter off of these vanillas. And then we're going to use 2 to make this strength 8. So Surveyor is completely neutered by Takebe. That was something you and I were discussing in Slack. And we're going to be pretty close to credit neutral. Oh, nope, never. There we go. But before
get a Jacoby counter for Gatekeeper.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, like these runs are incredibly
low-key.
All right.
So, can you get into the remote?
I think we could stim hack in there.
That might not be bad. I think you. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Why don't we do that? Attack B counters. How good of a program is this, Russell?
Yeah, Greencalf, Rob was the one who introduced me to Kobe when he was a kit in the StimMac Online thing, and that was pretty.
Yeah,
impressive.
it's savage, right? These vanillas are so bad for them. Rashida. There's the Ash, which we desperately wanted to get rid of. So have we made 2 successful runs?
You ran R&D and then you ran Server 1, so you can run HQ.
Yeah, let's run HQ. Let's get some money back.
Mm-hmm.
Some gauntlet accesses. And then let's run archives because there's 2 face downs in there.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love to install this daily cast from my grip. That's the real reason to play Hayley with this build, is because you can piggyback things on like crowdfunding installs.
So one thing I struggle with is calculating like the cost to get into the remote. Right? How much money do you need to get into that remote?
Takabe messes with the corp math. Like, if I can get set up with this build, it really messes with their heads, because the Takabe really forces them to like calculate out based on subroutines how much money I'm gonna need. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that remote right now is 7 real credits to get in.
Correct. All right. So we're gonna let them all drip. We're gonna pawn one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can get some gambles, maybe. Yay! Oh, yeah.
So did they draw last turn? They drew and discarded.
Yeah, we're gonna check archives. Don't you worry. Okay. Do we want... Let's check HQ.
I think you definitely do that.
And then this is a very inexpensive run for us. And we're gonna access 2 cards. And then we're gonna go archives again, just so we can get the crowdfunding down. We got to get rid of one of our extra ASOPs. We don't want to install anything else. And next turn, what we'll do is we're gonna allow.
They've got to score 3 points, and there's 8 cards in R&D, and they don't have any agendas in hand.
There's one.
That's got to be okay. So are they running any 5? Okay. So I think what do you do here?
So, first things first, let's get our money.
Mm-hmm.
I think...
So you can unquestionably get in, right? So you just play gamble, gamble, run.
Well, I think we play gamble, freedom through equality run.
Yeah, sure.
Takabe for best shaper card. I'm gonna save the counters for the R&D run.
Synergy here is...
I've been working on this for a while.
Yeah.
There's SSL. Let me math it. Can we get in here? Yeah, we can.
Or you just run HQ to see 2 cards. I don't think you care about R&D right now. You've got remote lock, right?
Yeah, we can just go into HQ. Takebe, yeah. The amount of cards in this build that play really nicely with the other cards in this build is really nice. And there's the game.
There you go.
Good game.
Good game.
So that's a game where I heard in your voice that you were worried that they were running away with the game, but then by managing tempo and setting up cards, we just closed the vice.
Yeah, and Takebe probably won that for us because the surveyors were going to be pretty expensive with nanotech. So Takebe's really good there.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the point of having Takebe.
I mean, essentially, you're spending 1 with Kuroda to get you the cost of boosting a breaker by 3, which is I'm sure you need 2 counters, but it's and we only made 1 R&D run.
It's okay. The threat was there, and they committed ice to it.
Yeah, because of the 2 RDIs.
But yeah, so this is the rig. We won 2, right?
We beat PE. We beat. Yeah, I guess we played 2 games.
Yeah, because I was at 18 wins before with this particular iteration, and now I'm at 20.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's sitting pretty at 87%.
Well, I've got to get mine up above 15 then.
But yeah, I think the big thing is that RDI makes it so that actually running every turn is good, right? Like indexing and Maker's Eye and things, that meta was meant to balance the fact that runners had this incredible economy from like Temujin. But
yeah,
Shaper needs RDI to actually win games. Because otherwise you whiff on your indexings and you just lose.
Sure. So one thing I think this player did, which when I played yesterday against Asger, he didn't do. So they left enough centrals open that you could easily recur the crowdfundings, which gives you the drip. So even if they commit ice to archives, even just enough to make it, it's more expensive for you to get in 3 times into any server than you'll get back when you install 1 or 2 crowdfundings. That's where I struggled yesterday against a comparable kind of style of deck.
Yeah. I think, though, based on the speed of the game and the number of ice that a lot of decks are playing, most decks cannot afford to commit enough ice to archives to actually really impact this rig's economy. So, like, that's when I'm racing to get to this point, because at this point, they could put ice on archives if they wanted, but it would be a waste. Right? Well, basically, anything that they're putting down would be a waste.
Maybe, yeah, I guess. So the one I had, the ice that killed me yesterday when I was playing was a slot machine. So there's a slot machine on archives and a slot machine on HQ. And then big ice on R&D and big ice in the remote. And that was enough to mean that, running 3 times in a turn was just punitive. Sure. Because you lose 3 credits every time you run through slot machine, even if there are no matches. So.
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty bad. That's bad. I think it depends. Corps do have some outs.
Sure.
But I think the biggest thing for me right now is I've been on Shaper for a really long time. Surveyor is such a problem, or was such a problem for Shaper. And having RDIs back, there's a couple of different things in this build that make the build work. So RDIs being back in circulation means that you have an excuse to play modded. When you have an excuse to play modded, you have a reason to play Cyberdelias. Once you have Cyberdelias, it makes sense to play you know what I'm saying? So there's a bunch of cards that all support each other in this deck that weren't good until you had RDI to add 3 more modded targets. Does that make sense?
No, totally.
So now modded 3X becomes a way better card. I think I have 3X or maybe 2X. No, 3X. I kind of want the 3rd Delia in this deck, but it seems very greedy to put a 3rd one in.
So what did you drop for? Because I think in the version I was playing yesterday, I had 3. Maybe I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I only had 2. Yeah. It's an interesting one, right? Because you net 2 credits once a turn, right? So what are the other options? I mean, you're guaranteed to get those 2 credits wherever you run.
Right.
So and running, even if you run vanilla for 2 credits and a Decoby taken, that's not terrible.
The original build actually had a turning wheel so that I could do that play with vanilla, and even if I'm not recurring crowdfundings, I was getting value off of like breaking something inexpensive, using Cyberdelia, getting a Tacopy counter, and then jacking out.
Sure. Well, I think, yeah, it's an interesting one because that's the other value of having turning wheel in here. Because if you have turning wheel, they're gonna ice HQ. Because otherwise you are going to take some accesses for that, but then they put ice on it, and then you get accesses with the gauntlet, so they lose kind of either way. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate thing is turning wheel would fit in the slot that gauntlet is in now, and then you'd have to find one additional slot to get like an Astrolabe in.
Yeah. So I guess that's the point, right? The gauntlet is your emergency legwork, essentially. It's an expensive legwork if they do put ice on HQ.
And it really surprises people. Like, every single person that I put Gauntlet down, they're just like, oh my god, Gauntlet. And it always nets me at least 1 agenda. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a DDM for HQ. I had somebody the other day who gave me a great gift. They put Architect on HQ. So that brought Nanotech up to 3 strength, and I put a Cubon on one of them and had Gauntlet, and they couldn't remove them from the game.
Sure.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to get going, but I really appreciate you hanging out and the streaming. Does the deck make more sense now that we've kind of walked through it together?
It does. I shall give it another go later today when I finished my 5-hour teleconference. But yeah, I will.
What can you possibly be accomplishing in 5 hours on the telephone?
It's an all-day staff meeting in the US where I'm the only person who's not. I should be in the room with everybody, but I'm not. So basically, just listening to what's going on and chipping in as necessary. Enjoy your JNet, huh? Yeah, if my boss is watching the well, I'm in trouble.
All right. Everybody watching, the link is in the show notes for the list. Check it out. I'll probably be publishing it soon. I just want to do some more refining. And until we see you all again, always be running.